Alright, OBS records the game fine, sound effects are fine, which means we are doing a game dev session today. I thought that would be kind of neat. So for those who don't know, a game dev session is a type of unscripted video that I make every once in a great while, where I sit down and just work on a project, usually whatever I was working on at the time, just to kind of show off the development process and maybe even encounter some fun glitches and bugs. So about a month or so ago, I started working on Xenon Kart Racing 2, which is a sequel to a game I made about 4 years ago called Xenon Kart Racing. It was, a kart racing game, kind of based on Mario Kart, except Xenon Kart Racing 1, being one of my earlier games, was a lot more simplistic. There are no items or anything, and also the karts control really horribly. It's just not that fun to play, at least to me. What makes it fun to me is the cheats that I added, where you could mess with stuff and do really wacky stuff, and it's kind of funny, but I think the novelty kind of wears off once you've figured out all the weird ways you can break the physics engine. But anyway, I wanted to come back to it because I was playing it and I was feeling nostalgic for it and I wanted to do it better, and so I am doing it better, adding all the things that I wanted in the first place, first and foremost being something that feels good to control, but also having things like items and ghosts and time trials, which I haven't shown here. Also, probably a battle mode, that would be nice. In fact, that's what I was supposed to be doing, but I decided to do something a little different. This is the 190K. It is called the 190K because it is, of course, 118 miles long. Now this comes from an asset pack called Kajaman's Roads, and it's basically these two pieces. This long 20-kilometer piece and also this piece, which is like a thinner road and it's got like wheat fields on each side. Or is that corn? No, that's corn. And it is a ring that is, of course, 190 kilometers long. There we go. That's a better way of seeing it. You can see that it's made up of mostly these 20K sections in a ring, and then that last 10 kilometers to get it back to the train is that cornfield road thing. I did some calculations, and with the karts in the game going at 71.5 miles per hour, which to me seems kind of fast for a go-kart, but it doesn't matter in the context of a video game, it would take an hour and 39 minutes to do the whole thing. Well, it would be fun to spend an hour and 39 minutes just holding right trigger and occasionally touching the left stick. I thought it would be more fun to do it with all the other Xenon Kart Racing 2 fun features like, other racers and items and, especially boost pads. That would really, hopefully, cut down on the hour 39 runtime. That's what I wanted to do today, is turn this 190K into a drivable track in the game. And there's a little bit that goes into that. If I go to the Retro Cup and go to that forest track that you saw in the background, you can see these white spheres everywhere, which are actually gizmos. Those aren't real. Those are waypoints. It basically draws a spline through those points, and each point has a left width and a right width specified, and also a tight side, which says whether the racing line goes through the left, the right, or the center, or somewhere in between, and that's how I create this cyan racing line that you see. And you've got the yellow midline, which is the actual spline, and these white lines, which are basically the same spline, but just shifted to the left and right. And that defines the drivable area. Now, you've got a course like this, which has 73 waypoints, and that took a good probably hour or so, I don't remember, to do by hand, because I do it by hand. I'm not sure how else I would do it. Well, actually, I do, and I'm going to get to that. It takes a while to do by hand, but the problem with the 190K is that I think this is maybe 1 kilometer total. So, what's that? 190 times that? I suppose I could possibly do only 2 segments, this segment and this segment, but I already tried starting on this segment. It was really annoying. I got to here, with placing the waypoints. The curve didn't look right at all before I was like, you know what? I think I need to automate this. And so that's what at least the first part of this is going to be, is automating it. And that's what this road crawler script right here does. You can see that it was just created before I just started this recording. So that's the first thing we're going to do. And my idea for this, I had something like this in the Haphazard Motorsports that this came from. Again, I won't explain it until later because it's actually irrelevant. What it did is it did some ray casts onto this mesh collider and slid forward at the same time. And it tried to correct itself, its position, based on the ray casts and what their distances were. I kind of want to replicate that. Now I could just go back back and get it from the original project, which would save me a lot of time. Hold on. Okay, I believe that is the script. It hasn't appeared yet, but it was called Road Scanner. It shouldn't have any dependencies on any other scripts because it's just raycasts, right? Road Scanner. I was making a jigsaw puzzle in Xenon Kart Racing. We just don't talk about this. We especially don't talk about the fact that this was originally created inside a project for a voxel game, like Minecraft clone. Surface tolerance, wall tolerance, scan speed. I can imagine what scan speed must be, but I'm gonna need to look at the script. Help, I can't find the ground. I think this makes sense. What I'm gonna do is scan this one, and since they're all the same, just copy and paste. I'll explain what I'm doing in a second. I just wanna make sure I can have an object that follows this track. Scan speed, I don't know, let's try 10. And let's set the tolerances both to 1. Okay, it automatically centered itself. Okay, cool. Seems to be working just fine. Let's bump up that scan speed. What if I do it 10 times? It seems to be doing just fine at 100. Now I suppose I could possibly go faster. Let's see how long it actually takes. Because it's 20 kilometers. I'm gonna try 200. Oh yeah, there is a long way to go with this. 200 might just be the way to go. Okay, and it managed to not fly off the end. It's like we're driving. Okay, that's the end right there. I can see the sign. Yeah. That took a while. Yeah, and it's gonna say help. Yep, help, I can't find the ground. So there we go. It seems like the tolerances of 1 and 1 are good, and the scan speed of... Let's bump up the scan speed to 500 and see just how fast we can do this. Okay, that's not bad. And I think what I'll have it do is it'll have a spacing value. And what it will do is once it's covered that much distance, it will record where it is and then reset the distance. And I will have a set of points that hopefully I can run a spline through. That was way faster. Okay, I like that. 500 is the new value. Okay, so I'll just make a different script for this. We've already got Road Crawler that I already made. So let's just edit that script. I just have to pick waypoint intervals and see what I like. We'll try 10 meters to start. Let's go. What do we have here? Okay, that's a little... Yeah, it's not quite as even as I would have hoped. So I think what I could do is it's probably like a frame rate issue, right? Wait, let me check something. So it should be a lot better now. Oh, that's so much better. Look at that. And that might even be... I don't know what the average distance between waypoints on other tracks is. So what I will have to do is go check. But that looks like maybe bump it from 10 to 16. 16 feels better to me. Okay, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do something really crude. This will be the most guesstimate-y thing I've ever done, probably. Yeah, okay. We've got some waypoints. What I'm gonna do is I'm going to grab a cart model. I know it has things that it needs that it doesn't have. Why is there a sphere back there? Actually, I'm curious now. What is that? Why does that have a sphere collider on it? Okay. Why? Was that always there? Okay, anyway, kind of remember in my mind how big that looks, like how far apart they look. Go to the cart model and get rid of that sphere collider. And then what I do, remembering that size, and do the same thing again. Could you shut up, please? Pick a waypoint there. That looks good to me. It's not rigorous, but does it even have to be? What that should do is actually go ahead and create the waypoints. That's a lot of waypoints. That is so many waypoints. That's gonna be like 1,000 just for one section. Oh boy. Where is the end of the first section anyway? That's the end of the first section. Okay. How many did we end up with? 1,200. That is a lot. So what I do now is make that into a prefab. It thinks about that for a second. I bring it back in. I can unpack the prefab. I can actually put the waypoint circuit script on there, refresh, and update the waypoints. I'm not seeing... Oh, it didn't actually set the circuit. I think I have to do that myself. 5, 5, set the waypoint circuit. Ooh, it's laggy. Oh, it's really laggy. It's really, really laggy. Okay. My professional opinion is that is way too many. We can do with fewer than that. How many waypoints? Already 200. That is so many. There's going to be thousands in the final course. That was not the end. I stand corrected. No, that was the end. I stand uncorrected. Okay, the frame rate's at least a little bit better that time, but not by much. Okay, how is the actual... I really think it could still be even fewer. The curves are just so gentle that I really think we could get away with using not very many waypoints at all. Yeah, this is automation. Yeah, the waypoint numbers are already looking better. But I don't know if the curve is going to look okay yet. Okay, we're done. Yeah, the curve's looking a bit janky, but the thing is, if I just take the width and I double it on each side, as long as it doesn't scrape... Ooh, okay. That has me worried right there. I could always just tighten it, but I think... Obviously, it can use more waypoints in some places and fewer in others, I think. But I'm trying to save myself the tedious work. Still, like, this amount is already kind of lagging it. I mean, well, it's lagging it because of the sheer number of things it's drawing from the gizmos. But I don't think this should hurt gameplay performance. This feels like I almost could tweak it manually to make it look better. So that's what I'm going to try. I'm just going to tweak it manually, see if that helps. Yeah, I think this is doable. I think manually tweaking it is definitely doable. It's only a little bit tedious. Like, it's not that bad. It's way better than having to do this all from scratch. Believe me. And of course, the big test is going to be seeing what happens when they try to drive this. Yeah, this whole automation thing is actually kind of nice. And the thing is, once I've done this, it should just be a copy and paste job for all the other identical segments, which is something I am intimately familiar with as a programmer. Well, except for that one last segment, the cornfield looking one. That one will also have to be done manually, but the thing about that is, it has sloped walls, and so I'm wondering how that's going to affect the scanner. I just realized something. Having a whole bunch of carts driving on this seemingly endless track that's kind of visually repetitive and more of the same thing with like this really simplistic geometry, that sounds to me like peak TikTok brain rot background video game gameplay, if you know what I mean. So like, I'm not trying to toot my own horn here, but I think I may be making Subway Surfers 2, or Minecraft Parkour 2. You know what I mean. Okay, so here we are. Of course, it is just hard-coded to loop, and so it's doing this. It looks like if I tried to draw a treble clef. Yeah, it does that. I think I can do something like this, I believe. So what I would need to do is take that... Oh, boy. Okay, now I need to check something. It's fixed. Yeah, that was way easier than I was making it. It's mostly just going to be a lot of that. But what I think I can do, or what I know I can do, is I can definitely get away with not doing the last section, especially since it takes like an hour to get there. I'll do the last section last and just go ahead and try driving on it once I get enough sections placed. I could speed run this, actually. Oh, it's not happy. It is not happy. Holy moly, it is not happy. This is the 80-kilometer part. Oh, it's bad. Okay. We haven't even hit 1,000 yet, actually. And I think this is like the halfway point. This is way better than when we had 1,000 on just one segment. So this is, like, it could be so much worse. This is not bad. Refresh, update, rename. Oh boy, it's really not happy. But I am pretty happy. Refresh, update, and rename. Only 700. And you can really feel it. Oh my god. Okay. Gizmos, turn off. Oh, I love frame rate. Okay, back to the start. Okay, I need to see what it looks like though. Ooh, it's pretty bad. That first segment is pretty bad. I could do some waypoint surgery on it. The hierarchy is perfectly responsive. It's just graphically, it's not happy. Okay, alright, turn off gizmos for a while. We have the waypoint circuit, which goes right here. We don't have any item boxes or boost pads to speak of yet. Am I missing anything? We don't need a finish cam because I don't imagine I'm going to be finishing this anytime soon. I haven't been updating course versions. I may as well. Cup internal name? This was the haphazard. Course data? This is not the debug course. This is the 190K. It can use the Valley minimap. I'm not going to be bothered making a minimap of this. I think we are ready to test it. So that means selecting the 190K. I'm actually kind of scared. What's this gonna be? Oh, it's not in the build settings. Right, okay. Always forget that. Now, okay, now we test it, now that it's actually in the build settings. There's a lot wrong here. A lot wrong here. Why are we all sideways? I just realized that, yeah, in no track do they ever start facing any direction other than north. Okay, that doesn't look very good. Can we all figure out how to drive? I think some people are stuck back there, but we are driving. Yeah. I just realized there's no racing line defined, so they have no idea where they want to drive. So, well, I could do the copy and paste thing again once I've defined the racing lines. That wouldn't be hard. What happens if I do this? Yeah, it fixes me, yeah. Lot of issues here. Lot of issues. I'm gonna try and fix the first thing first, which should not be hard to do. I think all I should have to do is go to Kart Racer, Kart. All I should really have to do is facing direction. That should really be all I have to do. I'm still facing the wrong direction. Also, we're getting lag. Okay, right? We are lagging, right? Yeah, we are lagging. But why? Maybe my computer was just struggling for a second. Maybe it's OBS. I don't know. But yeah, without a racing line, they have no way of really gaining on me. I suppose the thing you're supposed to do in this situation is probably investigate the issue, so I thought I might do that. What can we glean from this situation? So, what are we dealing with? The racer is facing that way. So, why is this happening? It might face in the right direction initially, but I think when I go to turn the cart, it will not work. Well, I mean, the cart will turn, but my body might not. Yeah, that's exactly what I thought. See, my body doesn't rotate. I remember the racers used to be children of the cart models. Whatever happened to that? I missed that. Let's try and get that working. I have to imagine that I would have undone that for some reason, because that's how it was originally. Okay, what happens here? Yeah, like, this appears to work fine. I don't see any issue with this. I guess that must have been just a really weird decision that I made. Okay, turn the cart. Okay, and just to confirm, I had to do that, it's just so funny. Just to confirm that things are working the way I expect them to, what I'm going to do is go over to this cart. Wait, hold. That does work. Okay, that looks normal so far. Hard steer forward. So if I set this to like 10, he should actually start leaning when he turns. I don't know that that's necessary. I mean, it's obviously not necessary for this character because his arms are long enough. Anyway, I think that's the main issue I was having solved. Okay, yeah. Yeah, that looks fixed to me. One of the main ways they use to fall back, instead of actually slowing down, they try to use the opposite of racing lines to really slow down. But they can't do that here because the racing line is set to the center of the track because I never changed it from default. And so they can't figure out a geometrically opposite line to the racing line because they figure that out relative to the center line. And since the racing line and the center line are the same, they can't figure out how to slow down. So what that means that I need to do is fix that. And what I'm going to do is actually specify the racing lines. Boost pads are going to be fun, and item boxes, of course. Can never forget the all-important item boxes. Which has me wondering, how exactly am I going to do that? How do I figure out where those go? Because if it's in the same place on each segment, to me, that feels really boring. So I'm wondering, what if, hypothetically, it was, and hear me out, procedurally generated? That might be kind of neat. Okie dokie. Save that. Apply all. So, that's roughly what I'm thinking. Waypoint circuit, that's so close that it doesn't even matter. I'm not missing anything, right? I don't think so. Try it out. Turn on my controller. Make sure my controller is turned on. Okay, you guys should be able to... Whoa! Okay. What happened here? Okay, so I figured it out. It was a weird issue. Basically, what was happening is the changes that were being made by the scripts in the editor weren't really saving, I guess. They weren't saving with the scene. Unity didn't recognize them as something that had been changed, and so I had to do this editor utility.setDirty thing. I changed that, fixed that, it all works now, and I guess I'll show you what it looks like. I mean, again, I need to really stress that this isn't finished. I still have the cornfield section, and of course, well, there's just no gameplay. Also, they're not doing anything. They're still bunched up. I promise this was working. Oh, okay, I think they're jostling around now. Without things like items and boost pads, this is how the races would be. You'd eventually get to some position where the race kind of hits equilibrium. You know, you can't take better lines than perfect, and so if the cars ahead of you are taking perfect lines, you're kind of just stuck behind them. The thing about procedurally generating stuff, I'd have to probably use physics and raycasts and stuff to figure out where to put the boost pads and item boxes. And I don't know what happens if you add item boxes or boost pads after the fact. I think with the way the system is set up, actually no, because they need a reference to the waypoint circuit, and I don't think they can get that if they're created after the fact. But that wouldn't be too hard to change either. Alright, I took a little break. So I guess now I'm going to do the boost pads and item boxes. I need to look at their code real quick and see how they handle being added after the track initializes. Yeah, it doesn't look like they are prepared to be added at runtime. If I just load the 190K, which doesn't have any item boxes in it, I should be able to drag in a prefab and see whether or not they can get it. Okay, so they're doing their thing now, which means I should be able to go back here and put an item box somewhere, like put it over here. Yeah, put this right there, raise it up a bit. Yeah, late set track, okay. Let's see if anyone goes for it. They should. If they can tell that it exists, then they should go for it. What is taking them so long? They're getting here. They're working on it, I think. Oh, yeah, they all went. Oh. That should be doing all the things we need to do to get item boxes, or to get a singular runtime generated item box to work. So the first thing I'm going to do is actually move closer so I don't have to wait so long. Okay, they're moving faster than I expected. Drag an item box in, move it up. Yeah, they see it. Oh, yes, they got it. Okay. It worked. All right. Okay, that's item boxes being runtime generated. Boost pads shouldn't be that hard. That should be close enough. It really shouldn't matter either way. There we go. There's a boost pad. Anybody want to use a boost pad? Anybody? Oh, they do. And it works. Okay, you can now spawn boost pads and item boxes at runtime. Y'all doing okay up there? What are you people doing? Oh, they figured it out. Okay. They figured it out, I think. No, they didn't. It's okay. We don't have to worry about it. Now comes the fun part. We have to procedurally place these things along the track. This is where that scanner could come in handy. It would basically be running along the track, generating stuff ahead of everybody. Let's see what 64 meters per second looks like. That looks fine to me. And it could choose to randomly place item boxes and boost pads. So let's just work on item boxes and boost pads, why don't we? I think I want to get boost pads out of the way first, because those are the harder things, because I have to like orient them. If they get spawned too close together, then they could be inside one another, and that might be kind of weird. But what I'm thinking is there are like slots that the item boxes will try to spawn in. So that is the thing I will actually work on first. Need to come up with a count and spacing. How's that for spacing? I do like the spacing. We could just increase the spacing by just a little bit. From 3 to... that's too much. From 3 to 3.5. Yeah, maybe not even that much. Maybe 3.2. Yeah, I like that. Boost pad chance, 25%. Oh, that... okay, I don't... I think I got some directions reversed. Help, I can't find the wall. How'd that happen? Well, at least it placed the boost pad correctly. Okay, I think that feels alright. So now, let's just make item boxes now. It is spawning an exorbitant amount of item boxes. Oh my lord. They're too frequent. They're also way too frequent, yeah. No more than 3 item boxes at a time. Take that spacing and space it out more. It doesn't seem to like the other side of the road, actually. That's a little weird. It has yet to put something over there. That's some kind of bug, because it's never putting anything over there. Something's not right. That's much better. I like that much better. I think I'm going to playtest it for a little while and see what I think. Alright, verdict? I think it's pretty neat. It could use maybe some more extra features, not entirely sure what, maybe more boost pads, probably more boost pads, but also, crucially, I think the number of objects was really starting to impact performance. So I think I do need to do that thing where it, destroy items that fall too far back, that are too far behind the pack. And also pace the crawler so that it doesn't outpace the racers too much and just spawn way too many items. I guess the first thing is that pacer. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to remove myself from the race so that the CPUs are all the ones driving so that I'm not holding up the pack. Oh my gosh. They're angry out there. There we go. Look, see, it's paused now. And you can see it's stuttering now to try and keep pace with the racers. The decorator is now pacing itself, but I think what we need now is for the decorator to destroy old things. I just had a brilliant idea. What we do, we've got this decorator, right? It's allowed to lead the pack, but only by so much. What if we make a trailer that does the same thing but tries to stay behind? It will stay behind, and because the track is a ring, it should be completely safe to delete any item boxes or whatever that fall behind it. But I need to make sure that the trailer works first. I think the trailer could safely stay a whole kilometer behind. So we should be able to test this now. So it should be paused until it falls back far enough. This should finally do it. It's moving now. It's absolutely moving. Okay. Yeah, and the idea is once it hits item boxes, it will eliminate them. Oh, there we go. And darn. Anyway, while we're waiting, Haphazard Motorsports. So if you follow my channel, which I don't blame you if you don't, I reviewed a game called Haphazard Motorsports Reboot. It was a game made by a friend of mine, but I absolutely tore it apart because I'm mean. Also because I had permission, and because it was funny. Alright, we're deleting things. Okay, while we're deleting stuff, I will continue explaining. Haphazard Motorsports is a project that me and my friend is dear to our hearts. It's basically just supposed to be just fun racing games, with an emphasis on freedom, but also just fun. Anyway, I decided one day that I wanted to make the definitive Haphazard Motorsports framework, like an engine within an engine that would be the basis for any future Haphazard Motorsports games. And I mean, that didn't ever come to fruition, but one of the things I did while making that, oh no. Anyway, one of the things I did while making that is I made the 190K as just a test thing for the F1 car because it's really, really fast. And this is basically it. I basically just copied the game objects from one Unity project to another, and this is it. And so now it's in Xenon Kart Racing. It must have gotten confused by the traffic cone, right? That should fix that, actually. Which means I think it's about time to give the race a try now that it has matured. So I'll move myself into position. I'll start a new recording. And here we go. I am going to have a lot of footage to sift through. Alright, I guess I'll commentate it this time. But to be honest, there's really not much to say. Also, I never mentioned it, of course not. I haven't mentioned anything about this game hardly. For one, it is meant for a controller, but is completely possible to play it with keyboard and mouse. It still controls basically the same. If you press Y, Y is to discard an item. Like if I get this item, well, I do want this one. I can press A to use it. And I can also keep getting absolutely destroyed. Like, say I didn't want to use the shield. I could press Y to discard it. And, of course, that was a debug feature so that I could quickly get to items that I wanted. But I also like the feature. It's different from Mario Kart, at least, where I don't know of any way to discard an item without using it. I'm getting pretty far ahead. Oh, boy. Stay to the left. Yes! Okay, that's an interesting strategy. Okay, you can avoid stuff like that if you stick far enough to the left. Or right, I suppose. Just stay far enough away from the edge. I am going to abuse the heck out of that. I need some... Oh, there's another one. Can I make it over to the other side? Yes, I can make it over to the other side. Okay, how far over can I be? Can I be comfortably within this lane? I don't know yet. Oh, okay. Try this lane. Try this lane. Okay, yeah. This lane, I can comfortably be in. What about this line right here? This line is safe. I do not envy my future self who has to edit all of this. I think any further inwards than this, and I would be... Okay, there's something I want to show, if I can get the correct item. What I want is the cage item, and you'll see why... Okay, I got it. I need to wait for a letter bomb to show up. Wait, if I'm not in first, this isn't gonna work. But that is a letter bomb, right? Yeah. Ah, well, I just lost my cage. Yeah, give me that item box. Can I get a cage, please? Nah, it's not a cage. Not a cage. Don't throw it ahead of me. Oh! Well, that's your own fault. Don't hit the bowling ball. Why is it bouncing so much? Okay, I'm not getting that item box. Oh! I kind of screwed myself with that one. I'm not even in first place anymore. I am now. How am I gonna get a cage? Oh, okay. Wait, this is perfect. Come on, hit the cage, hit the cage, hit the cage. Well... So much for that. I promise it's cool. I'm just having a hard time showing it off. Okay. I need a letter bomb. I need a letter bomb. That's a letter bomb. That's a letter bomb right there. Come on. Got it. Oh, wait. Oh, my controller disconnected. No. Actually, I don't think it disconnected. I think it lost focus. Yeah, my controller didn't disconnect. I just lost focus somehow. Even though the window didn't visibly lose focus. Could have been a bug with the game, but I can't imagine what. Can't imagine what system I can't imagine what system failed there. I at least want to get to the 20k mark. It's already been 6 minutes. Wow. Just give me a cage, please. That would be convenient. Okay, this is my only chance. My only chance. Okay. What? Getting in a cage prevents me from driving? Oh, that's never happened before. Well, that's something to investigate. Why would that happen? That's never happened before. Is it preventing me from being grounded? Well, first, let's just reproduce the issue. They're still driving just fine, so what gives? Okay, let's test this. I can still drive just fine. It must be something specific to the 190k. Well, see, there's what the cage can do. It can protect you from stuff like that. You just saw it, probably. So I'm guessing it's just an issue on the 190k, but if it is, probably has to do with the fact that it's got slopes and stuff, and the game doesn't handle that very well. So I guess what I will do is go to the cage, go to the physics, grab the collider, and move it up by just a little bit. Like, even moving it up by, like, this much should give me plenty of clearance, and I can always move it downward if I need to. So now I have the difficult challenge of getting the correct items. All I need is a cage. Wait, back up, back up, back up, back up. Okay, I can still drive with the cage. I'm guessing the issue is solved, because I'm pretty sure the issue was angles. And now there's so much clearance that it gives me that it should be fine. So I guess what I'll do is I'll try and play this, legitimately for a little bit. I'm going to try and hit every boost pad that I can. Anytime I see a boost pad, I'm going to, except for that one, I am going to hit it and see just how quickly I can get to 20k. That is the whole goal, which means staying on the outer lanes whenever possible. Even though items are cool, I don't know when getting an item would ever actually help me, because you don't get any speed boost items in first. And see, I already fell to second somehow. Is someone already passing me? Come on. Why are you all suddenly so good at driving? Cross quickly. Okay. This is an uphill section, it looks like. I'm gonna try getting a cage here. Unless I get a cage here, there's nothing I can really do. Yeah. Here, maybe? No. Donut's not gonna... That is just a line of... Okay, over here, over here. Okay, I missed that boost pad, but that was only to save my own life. Oh my lord. Okay, I think I have an opening. Okay. That's so many. They had to have been building up, I swear. It's already 4 minutes in. Actually, thinking about it, is the time that it would reasonably take to complete the 190K even gonna fit on the timer? 1 hour and 39 minutes. That's 60 plus 39. Is that 99 minutes exactly? People are gonna think that was like planned or something. But do I have news for you? Also, they're not that far behind, which is insane. How long does it take to hit 20 kilometers, not 20 meters? Because that'll give me a good idea of how long the actual thing's gonna take. Yeah, they're not that far behind. If you can see the smoke clouds from the smoke bombs, they're not that far behind. And it's not like I missed the 20K sign, like I didn't spot it, because it's hard to miss. There's so many letter bombs. They're obviously less than a minute behind me, because, well, these things aren't despawning. I really should have confirmed that the 60-second timer is working. I don't know why, but this feels like I'm getting close. It is crazy how long this thing takes to drive. And it's only been 8 minutes. It really doesn't feel like it. With lag frames and stuff like that, it probably isn't. It's probably more. Am I really still not... That... Oh my lord, there's so many. I want to cross the road and hit that one, but I can't because I'm gonna die. Wait, I think this is it. I think this is the stretch before the 20K sign. Because this actually looks familiar. I think this is it. I'm about to be like just over 1/10 of the way done with this. Oh, there's still the cornfield. I could just not implement the cornfield. No one would ever know. It's too far ahead. Yeah, yep, there's the sign. I see it. Oh, hey, let's make sure that I can still drive on this slope. I still can. Yeah, we're good. Okay, and time is 10 minutes 11 seconds for 20 kilometers. So let's do some math. 10 divided by 60, that's 16% of an hour. 0.16 of an hour. I want to figure out miles per hour. 20 kilometers, 12.42. 12.42 miles in 0.16 of an hour averages 77 miles an hour, which is just a bit over the 71, 72 mile per hour top speed. So that accounts for all the boost pads, but also for all the slowdowns from just gameplay. So if it takes 10 minutes, 190 divided by 20. There's 9.5 of those sections. If it takes 10 minutes, it's going to take 95 minutes at that pace, which does comfortably fit in the timer. But if you subtract that from 60, an hour and 35 minutes, and I calculated 139, it's pretty close. Yeah, it's pretty accurate. I realized that letter bombs and hands wouldn't be able to track you on the cornfield because the pathfinding doesn't work there because we haven't implemented it yet. Alright, I think I will stop here. I'll go ahead and finish the 190K off camera and maybe, just maybe, make driving the whole thing its own separate video, but I don't know about that just yet. I certainly did get a lot done, not as much as I was expecting, but that's because it always takes a lot longer than I ever expect. I know that this particular kind of video probably isn't that interesting to a lot of people, but I do kind of have fun making these, and if nothing else, it's cool to have these for archival purposes. But if you did watch it all the way through, then thank you very much, and bye.